Thank you, Haley. I am excited to be here also. As entrepreneurs and business women, we are all looking for that element of success that sets us apart from others, and that element could be joy. I am Louise Pistole. I'm author of Discover Your Joy and Experiencing Joy Through Gratitude. And today, that's what I want to talk to you about is joy and gratitude. First, I want to tell you a short little story about my granddaughter. Some years ago, my sister and I took the grandkids to a gold mine that was an old site you could tour, and then you could actually pan for gold. And when I pulled in the parking lot, the field beside the parking lot was overgrown with weeds. And in my mind, I'm just like, why hasn't management taken care of this? Well, my sweet little granddaughter jumps out of the back seat, grabs my hand, and runs over to the field. And she says, "Look, Mimi, 1,000 dandelion wishes." And she upbraided my attitude quickly with her comment. And unfortunately, that's the way as adults that we often go to the negative instead of looking for the positive. But who doesn't want to be around people and do business with others who are positive and upbeat, maybe even joyful? I have 3 questions I want you to think about. First is, where are you on the joy scale of 1 to 10? If 1 is sad, depressed, overwhelmed, anxious, and 10 is joyful, where are you? And keep that number in mind. Next, what is it that's keeping you from feeling number 10, joy? And in conjunction with that, my 3rd question, what would it take to move you up the joy scale to number 10? Let me tell you just a teeny bit about my own backstory. I grew up with what I now know were unmentionable family secrets, and perhaps we all have some of those. But after the loss of my hero daddy and then divorce, I struggled through life. Feeling I had no other choice, I went through just the motions of daily activities, and I was drowning in work and long hours and a stressful career. I felt stuck in a time warp that didn't allow me to move forward. I was sad and alone for too many years. My internal light had flickered and grown dim. There was too much darkness in the shadows of life, and my joy light was almost out. Then I heard a message about joy and to watch out for joy stealers. The word joy became my lifeline. I began to research and study and write about joy in my journals. I saw the possibilities of living a joyful life in the days ahead. And as I reconnected to my internal light, I knew I could shine again. Just recently, my young niece was playing at the edge of the ocean, and the waves just kept rolling in. She just wanted to play in the water and not be disturbed by the waves. Finally, she looked up at her mom and she said, "When are the waves going to stop?" Do you ever have a similar feeling? You just want to do what needs to be done without the distractions. And do your distractions feel like that constant, never-ending ocean wave? While my niece was asking an innocent question, as adults, we have similar grown-up questions about when will we have some quiet, uninterrupted time. Something I've been studying lately is how anxiety and gratitude cannot coexist in our minds. If you're angry, afraid, depressed, any of these negative, heavy emotions, you cannot feel grateful at the same time. Gratitude is a powerful emotion, and it can help to keep you grounded when those negative emotions do arrive. Gratitude can actually help to block emotions like depression or regrets. But I'm not a doctor, so don't stop taking your meds. This is a big topic for today, But the takeaway is that our brain cannot respond to negative emotions like fear or stress and to positive emotions like gratitude and joy at the same time. Since gratitude does lead us to joy, we have to find a way to build up our shield of gratitude enough to fight the battles of stress and anxiety. We have to put our super gratitude into effect. And we'll come back to super gratitude in just a minute. But can you turn your anger into a moment of gratitude, which becomes a moment of joy? It sounds great, and it actually does work. But as you can imagine, it can be much harder than it seems. I'm going to come back to some more about gratitude in a minute, but I want to talk about how does gratitude and joy relate to body, mind, and spirit. Taking care of our body, mind, and spirit in turn gives us a positive mindset that leads to being more grateful. And gratitude is your pathway to joy. And that is the number one quote that is in my books. That as you rest your mind and your body, it calms the chatter in your brain. The rest restores your inner peace. And peace is joy at rest. But let's chat about body, mind, and spirit for just a couple more minutes. It's taking care of your physical self, your emotional self, and your spiritual self. But I like to add two more to that list. One is lifestyle, which is taking care of your social self. And the other one is support, which is taking care of your encouraging self. But how do we take care of our social self and our encouraging self? A lot of the same things for body, mind, and spirit also help lifestyle and support systems. My favorite is soaking in a tub with bath salts. Music and candles, maybe a glass of wine, make it even more relaxing. But also the companionship of like-minded and positive people, occasionally giving yourself a break from social media, internet, computers, all that electronic stuff. Taking care of your body, mind, and spirit allows you to be happier and healthier, along with more grateful and joyful. I do have a few other body, mind, and spirit ideas I want to share, and you may be familiar with some of them or even all of them, but I do think they're worth mentioning. First is practicing mindfulness, and that's maybe become a little bit of a buzzword lately, but it does calmly focus your awareness on the present moment. It helps you to focus on one thing at a time. And meditation helps to train you to be mindful. Another one is EFT, or emotional freedom technique. And you may be familiar. It's a tapping thing that balances your energy systems, somewhat of psychological acupressure, and similar to acupuncture. And if that is something interesting to you, Carol Look is a good person to follow there. Another one is grounding, or sometimes called earthing exercises, like walking outside barefoot. This reconnects you to the earth's healing energies. Just be careful. Recently, when I was out barefoot, I did manage to step into a big pile of fire ants. So watch where you step. And then learn to unblock your chakras. Our chakras are the spiritual energy systems in our body. And emotional upheavals in our life cause them to become blocked. Opening up these channels allows our energy to flow smoothly and allows good physical and mental health. If you haven't followed Donna Eden, I do recommend her and her energy routines. She's developed a system that I want to quote what she says, awakens energies that bring resilience, joy, and enthusiasm to your life, and greater vitality to your body, mind, and spirit. That definitely gets my interest. And the last on my list is essential oils. And there are many that are readily available today. They can be used for aroma or a multitude of healing properties. During the height of the pandemic, I was running a diffuser in my home just to help my husband with his breathing. You have to pay attention to the toxicity guidelines. But okay, now I want to go back and dig a little deeper on the topic of gratitude. And one of the quotes out of my second book is, "The road to inner peace, joy, and spiritual fulfillment starts with gratitude." We derive a multitude of benefits from being grateful, but science has shown that regularly practicing gratitude can boost your happiness, reduce stress hormones in your body, reduce depression, and improve your sleep. One of the amazing benefits of gratitude, and you've heard the first part of this, is it moves you from seeing your glass half empty to half full. But then I like to say, soon you'll see your glass as overflowing. I want to tell you something sweet about my daddy. One of his comments that I remember most is, "Thank you for your kindness." No matter what anything did for him, Daddy always expressed appreciation for the good deed. And there's as many ways to practice gratitude as there are people doing it. I want to share with you a few of my own secret sauce ideas. The easiest thing you can do is when you wake up in the morning, just simply say, "Thank you." This starts your day off in a grateful state. You can amplify your gratitude by saying it out loud. This makes it sink deeper into your brain waves. I have one friend who says, as he goes around his house each morning, opening up his blinds, he says, "Thank you" for everything he sees out the window. Another suggestion is to sit with a thought about gratitude. Why are you grateful for this person or thing? Relive some favorite memories. This is deep appreciation and gratitude. It anchors your gratitude. It increases your well of joy. A similar idea is to visualize something that you're grateful for. Perhaps it's sunrise over the ocean or time with your children or grands. Imagine it in your mind and you will feel the gratitude wash over you again. The last one I want to mention to you that I want you to consider is advanced gratitude. Can you try to be grateful for things that haven't happened yet? This is sort of like what Haley was talking about, setting an intention. But try to express gratitude perhaps for having a safe trip, and the trip is next week. Or maybe the doctor's appointment's next week, and you appreciate the good report you're expecting to get. If you can find a few moments each day to express gratitude, you will soon see your life making a positive change. As simple as this idea is, it's sometimes difficult to be grateful when everything in your life seems to be packed full of negativity. I mentioned super gratitude earlier, and there are definitely times that we need this extra push. I recently had an issue with a woman in a group, and she was just terrorizing our group with threatening messages, and each one was worse than the one before. It finally got the best of me, and my joyful spirit just collapsed into a puddle of anxiety. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, I couldn't think clearly. And my first reaction was to lash out at her, but I knew better than that. I waited till morning, and my mindset in the morning was to take positive action. I decided to supercharge my daily gratitude list. I took time to write elaborate descriptions of a long list of people and things that I was grateful for that day. I listed all the big stuff and all the little things. I read and reread my list over and over until my anxiety calmed. It's a process, but gratitude can be the solution to anxiety, stress, and frustration. With either gratitude or a bottle of wine. But today we're talking about gratitude. Anxiety can feel like that tightness in your chest or shortness of breath. But gratitude can slow your breath and open your heart. The whole idea of my time with you today is to show you how to experience joy through gratitude. But first I want to talk about the difference in happiness and joy. Happiness is really two things. It's first a pleasure for yourself. It is for you, and it's at a moment in time, such as enjoying an ice cream cone. It's a temporary feeling. But joy is not always about yourself. You can be joyful for someone else. Joy is that lasting inward contentment and peace, and it is highly gratifying. I just wanted you to recognize that the term joy and happiness are not interchangeable. But let's talk a little bit about joy in our lives. You've heard many times to choose joy every day, and that is true. But you have to first know what it is that you're choosing. Joy is our natural default emotion. It's a life-defining emotion. It's all-encompassing to your body, mind, and spirit. And once you make joy a daily choice, you're able to accept the challenges that come your way. But we all sometimes lose our joy in the hectic busyness of life. As you spend more time expressing gratitude and being in that state of gratefulness, the more joy you will feel in your life. You're filling up your wellspring of joy. Joy is becoming your natural default emotion. Then when things happen that would test someone else's patience, you are able to remain focused and calm. You draw on your wellspring of joy to keep moving forward. But why would you even care about being joyful? And I have actually had people ask me that question. It's not worth it. Why bother? Being joyful will make you feel more positive. Long-term joy can help you become more resilient. Joy inspires you to be more loving, kinder, and to do good things for other people. It allows you to become the best version of yourself. But one of the biggest benefits of being joyful is a sense of connection. You'll feel more connected to yourself, to those you care about, and the world you live in. Connecting with other people can also lower your stress and anxiety and stabilize your emotions. From a mental health perspective, human connection is vital to our lives, and certainly to our joyful lives. A joyful human connection is exchanging positive energy with someone else and building a trust factor with them. You feel like you're being heard and understood. These feelings increase our confidence and purpose in life. We can be surrounded by other people and still feel alone. But it's that connection with someone or several people that helps to enrich our lives. I have a girlfriend who sent me a message a year ago that she found out she had had breast cancer. She shared with me the details that she knew so far. And then she ended her text with, I am joyful. I am hopeful. Oh, for all of us to have such deep joy in our lives. But I do realize not everyone is in a place in their life to choose joy every day. Some of us have family, work, financial, or just life hardships going on. And under those circumstances, I encourage you to try and look for just a moment of joy every day. Just find one thing, no matter how small it is, that you can hold on to. It could be a smile from someone or seeing the sunrise. But if you can hold tight in your mind and focus on it as much as possible, you will also begin to build up your wellspring of joy. I had a young girl write to me a year or so ago. She had been financially broke and homeless, but was determined to focus her energies on gratitude and joy. She was immensely grateful when she found food in a nearby dumpster. Over time, people started bringing food to her. She continued to focus every day on gratitude and joy. The last time I heard from this girl, she found a place to rent and she was no longer hungry or homeless. And she gave her gratitude and joy practices credit for her improved circumstances. I do want to caution you to watch for joy stealers. Things, people, situations can march right in and steal your joy before you realize what is happening. We do have to be aware of everything around us and keep our positivity levels high to protect ourselves from the distractions of life. Here are some of the most obvious joy stealers. Make a note of the ones that sometimes get to you. It'll help you to be prepared when the time arises by realizing this is something that's out to steal your joyful nature. And the first is relationships. This could be a spouse, a child, a coworker, a neighbor. We have relationships with many, many people. And often one of those, at least one of those, will steal our joy. But loneliness and guilt and worry is mine. I'm the one that worries about everything, and it can steal joy. Pain, whether it be physical or emotional pain, will definitely steal joy. The list goes on and on. But as people, things, or situations try to steal your joy, have a plan to work around it. This could be avoiding the negative person as much as possible, or perhaps reaching out to someone to comfort you when you're in pain or worried. You are worthy of joy, and don't let the joy stealers get to you. I would be remiss if I didn't talk with you today just a little bit about toxic positivity. The two words may sound like an oxymoron, but it's a serious topic that can get by you without even realizing it. We all know that having a positive outlook on life is good for us, but life is not always positive, and we must make the effort to acknowledge ours and other people's painful experiences. For example, after someone's been through a tragic event and people are telling her everything happens for a reason, or it could be worse. These are toxic positivity comments. Have you ever been around someone who is always cheerful to the point of being almost sickeningly sweet? The portrayal is that every moment of every day is fabulous and not one negative thing ever happens. But we all know that's not so. When we attempt to avoid anything negative, it will usually backfire on us. To force a positive outlook on someone's pain encourages that person to keep quiet about their struggles. And denying our true feelings leads to stress that gets buried deep in our emotions and bodies. It can later manifest as anxiety or depression. Once we honor and embrace our feelings, both the good and the not so good, we are in a place to live a healthy, balanced life. I want to conclude with an article I read from Sports Illustrated. It's only 2 short paragraphs, and I want to actually read it to you. Athing Mu is the 20-year-old middle distance runner from New Jersey who specializes in what's arguably the sport's most brutal race. There's not even a lot of argument. The task: sprint almost as hard as she can for 2 full laps around the track, saving enough energy to separate over the final 100 meters, but not so much that she's not in a position to separate at all. That's precisely where Mu's other specialty comes in. She runs while exuding an emotion that's rarely displayed in track, and at least not during a race. It's a simple concept, and yet an elusive one. It's what separates her from other elite competitors and what will power her drive to break a controversial world record that has stood for 39 years. It's joy. End quote. The joy that resonates and motivates Mu is available to everyone. However, not everyone chooses to live a life in joy on a daily basis. If it's a simple concept as mentioned in the article, exactly what is it? We must choose joy, and we must choose it every day in order to experience this life-defining, all-encompassing emotion. The quote I want to leave you with today is, "A joyful life is a life well lived." Thank you for allowing me to be part of your day. Many of the quotes that I use today are part of your download digital card deck. Use them to inspire and encourage yourself every day. Now go out and spread some joy.